What up, man? You know what it is. Your boy TrendsetterSense. Of course, this is Rhythm and Streets, but it's a special edition. I got some legends in the building, some pioneers in the building. I had to bring my brother with me. My brother, pioneer in the podcast game, doing his thing. B-High, what's up with you?
What's good with it, Sense, man? Feeling good, feeling great as always, man.
I love it, man. Thank you for coming and sharing the
having
platform with me. I had to bring you on because we got some legends in the building.
My God, you know, when you told me about these legends that was coming in the building, I was sitting back and I was thinking about a lot of stuff just about Atlanta over these 50 years of hip-hop.
Right. That's right.
And one of the things that kind of caught me was that, was there ever any other independent label that had a chokehold on Atlanta like Oomp Camp?
I'm talking about Oomp Camp, Big Oomp Records, DJ Monte, DJ Jelly, the boss, Big Oomp in the building. How y'all feeling, man?
Good, man. What's up with it? What's up with it? What's up?
Hey, man, thank y'all so much for just gracing this platform, man. It's a pleasure. Had to do it. 50 years of hip hop, Atlanta, 50 years of hip hop. Had to have y'all on here, man. Let's jump right into it, man. B-High, you was just talking about the first Atlanta independent label.
I can't think of anybody that's had more success. Can y'all?
Nah, not for what we done.
You see what I'm saying?
Not at all.
So with that being said, what was that like having the streets in a chokehold, and how the hell were y'all able to do it without no majors behind y'all? Because see, everybody else from that time had major distribution and major backing. However, when we went into the clubs, all we heard was Oomp Camp. When we was riding down the street, all we heard was Oomp Camp, and everybody had an affinity for Oomp Camp. So how the hell were y'all able to pull that off with no major backing at all?
Man, we just put the work in, man. We came up with the idea to start the mixtapes, MC Salt and Jelly, and that was the beginning. And we just expanded that, man, into different eras of, well, the mixtapes. You know, they didn't want it in the store, so we created our own stores for that. You know, we started making music. We couldn't get our videos on Rap City, so we created our own show to market our own videos. So we really just create our lane to increase the what we was trying to do, and it just got caught up with of like a cult. Like all the kids wanted to be Oomp Camp, grown people wanted to be, because it wasn't nothing really around like that. There was a movement, and we became a movement because we moved 20 deep everywhere we went. Like Jelly was the first star of the Oomp Camp. Like we blowed him up as a DJ first, and we was 20 deep moving with a DJ. Well, no DJ moving 20 deep like that, like an artist.
Right.
And it just became a straight movement, and man, we had the jackets, like we all looked like a Oregon football team. So like we mashed out with the fashion, the movement, deep. We had good product. You know, Jelly Monte was two of the dopest DJs in the city at the time. And with the record stores and the TV show, the brand just became the brand to be a part of in Atlanta at that era.
Let me ask you something, because coming down, I went to Clark Atlanta University. My first time, I went to Virginia Beach during, it was, what was it? It was one of those weekends, one of the bike week or something, right?
Yeah, bike week.
All I heard was a DJ Jelly mixtape. Then I come down to Atlanta, Freaknik. All I'm hearing is a DJ Jelly mixtape. So when I think of Freaknik, I feel like DJ Jelly, Monte, Oomp Camp, that was like the soundtrack of Freaknik. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's not no thought. It's just it is what it is. You know, it's like we work,
sure.
and I always trip out this. We work Sunday through Sunday. We would dub tapes, our own tapes, run to the booth, stay up 24 hours. Then we go do the events. Then we DJ at different clubs. I'll be on the radio. I mean, we just did this 24/7. You know, we were like a unison with it. You know, this was strictly what we did. Day up, day down, and we continue to do that. And then when people come in town with Freaknik, we would have our booths set up at all the Freaknik events. We knew all the artists. We would help breaking their music already. So, just all work together. And it was a beautiful thing, man. We did this no sleep. Literally.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
And then you got to understand, at that time, Freaknik, radio wasn't supporting independent artists at all. So you had to get our mixtapes at that time to hear Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, Pastor Troy, Oomp, like all those ghetto mafia, all those people that was putting out music.
666.
You had to get our tapes to hear in Atlanta because one no other way to hear these artists. Radio wasn't supporting nothing. And nobody originally wasn't that big at that time after Elk with Jay with the mixtape. So with our mixtapes, it's like you had to hear all those underground records come through the mixtapes. And that's how it really became so big because we were the distribution to independent artists at that time.
Y'all talking about the 90s, but see, I graduated in 01, okay? And it was a club called Essos that I got my first party experience at. And it was the time of my damn life, fellas, okay? On those flyers, when you saw Jelly and Monte on that Esso flyer, you knew that it was about to go all the way to hell down. So now we talking about a run. We talking about a 10-year span that we going into of just dominating the streets and the clubs at the same time. When we think about Essos, man, what was that like breaking records during that time? And then also the Atlanta party scene is just off the damn chain. So it ain't like it wasn't no competition. We could have went anywhere on Friday night, okay? We could have went anywhere. But we knew we needed to be at Esso.
Yeah.
Jelly,
I was Jelly.
I passed the torch over you from that. So, but
Come on.
they did start though over there on Juniper, the original SOs. And I used to do the downstairs, the down south room, and everybody was waiting on that. Now
that's what
Alex
was.
and Abe and all of them was doing their thing. So we basically the whole Oomp camp, we was helping them out too, getting stuff on that brand on that street. So we had that whole down south floor ready. 12 o'clock come, everybody be at the top of the steps just waiting to pile on in. And it was crazy, bro.
Envy, sir.
Yeah, hey, man.
Because, see, now you ain't going to get out of there, you know.
Right.
And we ain't going to talk about Esso, then we got to talk about Envy. That was another stronghold that y'all had on the club because also we had all of the music playing, but we knew that we was going to get a taste of that Oomp count music in at the same time. So when we talk about the distribution of the music, regardless of radio, just being in the streets with the stores and having your ear to the streets and the clubs as well, what was that like breaking records, but also controlling the party at the same time?
Right. Well, for me, Envy was like the start of crunk music.
Yeah.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, because you had you still had the warehouse, you still had all other stuff, but for all of it to be in one building, and that's all I played all night. That was like the start of just straight up crunk. Or was it warehouse before that though?
It was warehouse before that, but it's just that we went from SOs, then I went over to Envy, you came over to Envy with me, and then it was just from there to bounce. All those connected with each other.
Envy was just like the start. Like for me, it was just a smaller venue, but just turned up. I think it was Big Run and Mark them that was there.
But you know, we was doing the teenage parties too. We had the grown people and the teens, like, and we did all the proms.
I used to bring all the concerts.
We did all the proms. We used to do at least 8 to 10 proms a year.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about those times, those were some of the best times of my damn life. Okay, so that's why I hold them dear to my heart, and I bring them up every time we talk. But from a business side, though, talk about the genius behind it. Because if you don't have no major behind you, what was your thought process as far as getting your artists heard? And did you realize how pivotal those shops and your DJs being on the radio and in the clubs would be to moving the culture forward here?
Well, you know, of course, didn't nobody know none of that was going to take place. We just started with the mixtapes in one store. Then we got another store and another store and another store. Before we know it, we had 12 record stores. And shoot, man, with the record stores, the DJs, the TV show, it all became just one big umbrella of things. And that became the recipe. You know what I mean? Like, we beat the streets down 7 days a week with marketing. We would flood the clubs out there, putting flyers on cars. Man, we was gorillas on the street, man. Our street marketing was crazy.
We traveled to Alabama, Florida,
Texas,
South Carolinas. We traveled everywhere.
Yeah, we would go hit the road in the rap van. I got a rap van, got it wrapped, man. We would go tear the South down, man.
Especially in little country towns. That's what we
Like
love.
talk about some of the towns like outside, like what kind of like presence that you guys have, like
Macon,
Yeah.
Warner Robins,
Montgomery.
Montgomery,
Alabama, it was
yeah.
like
Chatham,
shoot,
yeah.
it was like
It was like
Atlanta for
Kings
us.
in Alabama.
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Alabama was our second home
Yeah,
at that time.
So Big Oomp, you were talking about Jelly was your first star, right? So, and that was being a DJ. You get what I'm saying? And we had Jelly, and then MC. You putting Jelly and MC Assault tapes
Assault,
out.
yep.
Is that when y'all like decided to like just take it to where y'all putting out artists and signing artists? When did that evolve from that point, from the DJ to the artists and the production? Like, at what point was that?
So we started out with the mixtapes and stuff. The original conversation when I met MC Assault was record label. 'Cause
Okay.
They was rappers.
Okay.
And they did mixtape, but they was rappers also.
Okay.
And
Wait,
so
Jelly was a rapper too.
Nah,
Okay,
it
I'm
was-
just
But,
making
hey,
sure.
that would be
MC
amazing.
Assault and Starving Marvin.
That would have been
and-
funny.
Freddie B.
Yeah, so they was all artists already, and so they we did a party, and they recognized a studio in my house. I didn't even know it was a studio. They came and did my party, and I turned 21, and they were like, "Big boy, it's a studio down here." They go to mic plug in, whoop whoop whoop, and so man, when they MC Assault ended up bringing in this guy that he knew, and shoot, man, we spent about $300,000 putting together that first studio. And when we put that studio together, we became a record label. The first group was Major Bank, which was MC Assault, Starving Marvin, and Loco. And that was in 1996. We started in 95 recording and dropped the project in 96. So that was the first project that came out. That was the beginning of Big On Records.
What was it like pressing up them CDs and putting them out there and them tapes and stuff like that?
Well, right then, it was, by the time 96 came, it was CDs. But before that, it was just, tapes, cassettes. And in 96, I remember 96 being the first mix CD we dropped. We dropped our first mix CD in 1996.
Yeah.
And and
96.
at that time with the album, we didn't press that up. We had gotten hooked up with a pressing company, and they was pressing them up at that time. But before the CDs, we did the mixtapes. We had like 60 tape decks running every day, all day,
So,
24
yeah,
hours.
rows and rows.
Had like 3 shifts
Hours.
working
Wow.
those tape decks, 3 different shifts.
But y'all having so much pressure in the city though, what was it that kept y'all independent until Oomp went worldwide with everything?
Man, we should have been with worldwide with everything. We had the opportunity at one time with Sam, but
And
like
Baby
I
D.
told somebody, I just didn't know in '98 to make that kind of decision. I thought that the whole Oomp camp need to move as one, not knowing that Sam can be the lead off, and then the next group and the next group and the next group. So we passed on that, but then we came back and put out Toxicated, Loco, Baby D, and then Baby D was the first one that got the next recognition as one of the record deal. So I took it.
Okay.
Took it with Baby D.
You took a major with Baby
Deal
D?
with Baby
With
D.
Sony.
Sony.
2003 with Sony.
What was the first hit record out of Big Oomp Records?
The first hit record was Walk It Out. Hit record.
Okay.
Yeah, hit record.
Which brings
Like
us
number
not
one
right.
in the country.
That's on the
Okay,
chart.
yeah,
Not
so it's a
regional.
different.
It's
Yeah,
outside.
we're number
of
one
just
in the
Atlanta.
country. But we had a lot of successful underground
Right,
records.
right.
ATL Ho is our record. The whole
The whole
Atlanta
ATL
still
ho.
say ATL Ho every football game, basketball
Soccer
game,
game,
soccer.
everywhere.
That's our record. That was a huge hit record in the South.
Region.
Wow. And it's funny that you'll talk about Walk It Out, because then I go to this guy right here, and he, Monte, you like the little brother. Is that correct? Jelly, it was like you mentoring Monte, or like tell me that whole like.
I'm the little brother to everybody. I came in.
family song.
I came in a little bit later on. Like after I still was repping Big On Records in high school. I had the jacket and everything else like that. Cause I didn't graduate till '97.
Okay.
So they came and took me in. And Jelly, I was 15. Shoot, it was like
Doing a
95.
party.
Yeah, it was like
Doing a party
95. Yeah, so I was 15. Jelly took me in after high school. I used to go to his house every day and just organize his records. You know, he'll mess them up, I think, on purpose. But then I had to redo it again. And then, so, you know, that's when Oomp finally did do the label and stuff like that. And I was just in there learning up on the Fred and MC Assault.
Okay.
So, it was a point in time to where it's just me and Oomp was just left in the studio.
Okay.
So that's when we came up with the Walk It Out and all that. It was on my birthday, actually.
Yeah.
My God. What was it that made you go from DJing to producing, though? Did you know the whole time you needed to go ahead and make some tracks, or was this something that just kind of occurred?
When I was 9, I really was making beats at the house. My mom bought me a little drum machine. I was making beats at the house. But I never knew I was going to end up becoming a producer or nothing like that. But, yeah, I always been making beats, like, for real.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I kept bugging Oomp, just let me get in there, man. Let me learn. Let me come to the house. Oomp, let me come on, man. He finally let me through, because that was something I wanted to do. I was always a learner, though. I learned everything.
Exactly.
I learned how to mix a record. I learned how to make a beat. I learned how to track out songs. I learned how to record. I learned how to do all that. So I just wanted to expand on that, too, though.
Yeah.
Just never knew how far it was going to take me.
But it went pretty far, bro.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Jelly, man, talk about the mixtapes, right? Like when I was saying like the soundtrack, like I can spot being a DJ, I can spot a DJ Jelly and a DJ Monte, either mix or mixtape, and talk about like that signature sound of a mixtape that evolved. Like, where did this come from, man?
I mean, just, you know, MC Assault was a DJ before I was, but then, you know, so both of us was on that same page. And the thing what we were doing, man, we was basically just tapping into what people like on the street. We would take maybe a booty shake type CD and exploit it to the most.
Yeah,
and we've been mixed Dr. Dre with the booty shake. Like we just started. We were doing mashups before they was known as mashups.
Right.
And that's how we actually helped breaking a lot of the artists too, though.
Wow.
Whether it was Outkast or whether it was Triple Six Mafia, we would just flip R&B grooves with, you know, with hard stuff, and that's what we were doing. We was just really exploiting the sound of the South and really adding to Atlanta's soundtrack itself.
Right.
Influencing people like Lil Jon and other producers. Because the way we put together sound, you know, different types of genres together.
Yeah.
To me, I think Jelly and MC Assault the one innovated the things that are going on now.
Talk to him.
The acapella over a beat.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause that's how I got
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's how I got introduced to them, from a mixtape called 187. And so they were doing something what no other DJ was doing. I ain't never heard of it. And to this day, right now, it's like a big thing. And I think that came from DJ Jelly and well, I know it came from me. In my personal opinion, I ain't never heard no other DJ do that.
Yeah.
I done heard Clue, I heard all that stuff. But I never heard no DJ actually put it together, a whole tape from beginning to end, where they mixing nonstop.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that with 2 turntables. It was like, how the hell you did that?
Yeah. What is the trick, Jelly? What is the
There's
trick?
no trick. It's a thought process, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care what technology you got advanced, but if you're not thinking the way we thinking, and that's what it is.
Nah,
Yeah.
Jelly had a trick. Look,
No,
let me tell you, Jelly had a little Tascam 8-track.
That ain't even no trick.
It
This
is
the
a
way
trick.
You think about
It is a
anybody,
trick.
But you know what? A lot of DJs had that type of stuff, but they didn't think how me and how I was
Exactly.
thinking.
That's why I say it was innovative. But I'm saying still though, that was just a tape that was supposed to be recording vocals. You know, Jelly took it and he recorded songs and
Right.
and mixed on top of it, and he just
Sometimes I feel like I would hear like 2 beats.
Right.
You do.
And
Several stuff going on.
And then you go transition into another song, and I'm like,
that's what I'm
But-
saying.
and this is before you know the
you only had 8 tracks.
Yeah, but I mean, Dr. Dre was already doing that back in the day. I would listen to him when I was coming
See?
up as a
I
DJ.
know.
Because that's how they was breaking all the NWA stuff at the swap meets.
Wow.
So that influenced me too.
Wow.
Stuff like that. I was like, damn, that's what we ended up doing.
Okay.
Really, and we just started really exploiting all kind of music though. Like that whole R&B, that soft, that hard vibe. 'Cause that influenced a lot of the music that's even going on now.
Right. So Jelly, you came from St. Louis.
Yep,
What brought you
STL.
like coming to Atlanta? Like,
From U City. I
Yeah.
mean, I always say my mother was reading the Essence magazine by Bobby Brown building a house here, and I was like, that's what I just graduated from high school. I said, oh, that's where I'm going. I didn't say that's just looking at her reading that. It clicked. It was no conversation. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm headed to the A.
And then your first gig was Magic City?
First gig.
How'd that come
Shouts out
about?
to DC.
Yeah.
Brain Supreme. I mean, I was bothering, going around. I'm always trying to get into something.
Yeah.
And I was actually working at Bobby Brown's studio at that time, which is crazy, right? And I got fired one time. And then People Bryson helped me.
Bryson?
People OG. So I knew it was a little shaky now. I'm no little black dude running around, setting all the faders up and running, getting their food. And I said, well, I know I'm going to be out of here soon. So then I started just hitting different spots up, Frozen Palace, different places. And I went to Magic. I was like, I'm in there talking big shit to DC. Like, yeah, I done did the strip club. I've been doing, I'm talking. So I got fired the second time. Literally a week later, DC called me and said, Jalen, why don't you come by here?
Wow.
He on the real. I'm like, that was it.
Wow.
That was my education to start with Atlanta. It wasn't even college. It was Magic City.
Magic City is the start of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about from a role model perspective and just cultural in the city. One thing that we always knew and understood about Big Oomp, it wasn't that y'all were humble, but y'all had a humility to where y'all were so approachable. So it'll be a case of where you a young man, you go up there to Greenbrier, there go Jelly mixing in the front of that thing, and it's like, Jelly, what the hell's going on? You're like, what the hell's going on? I mean, this thing, bitch, you like, and he would sit there and listen to what we had to say, even though we weren't talking about shit. If he was at Q Time in the West End, we in there peeking around. What the hell's going on? What Oomp them got going on? And it was always success that we could see from a ground level. But then I say that as being a role model because when I got bigger, I knew how to act based off of seeing celebrities in my neighborhood firsthand dealing with me in a way that was approachable and touchable. What was it that made y'all not stick y'all nose up and not be arrogant with the common man running around here in the hood?
For me, it was Big Oomp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was like the person just be like, stay humble, stay grounded, all the time. So he taught that to me. I seen him teach that to a lot of other people too. So that was just the reason why I feel like that we was rolling like that because we came from a person that was humble himself.
Yeah.
So.
Jelly, get in here.
I was the same. I mean, I grew up that way. I wasn't studying on that. It's just like because we all, we all men and people that from ground level
base,
already off. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So it was my parents raised me right.
And for me, it come from home raising. I grew up in a 2-parent home, and my daddy did not play shit. He had us scared to even think about being disrespectful or not looking at you saying, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Like, we was raised to be like that with grown people. I don't give a doggone who it is. Look them in the eye, talk to them, respect them, and just be humble. Like, we was raised like that. And anything outside of that, man, my daddy would have knocked us out. So it was the home raising what instilled me to be humble as I am today, and I pass it on to, if you in my circle, you around me, that's just how we are. We ain't on that boasting and bragging and tooting our horn and talk about who we are, what we did, all that. That ain't how we move. My daddy was an OG, and he moved like that. You know what I mean? And you get more respect forever being that person, besides being that loud person and talking crazy and whoop, 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 whoop. You got enemies now.
Well, I seen all of y'all before I was somebody, and I was always treated with some respect. Now, if I was disrespected, I wouldn't be sitting right here right now. But I gotta ask you this though, man. When Baby D signed with Sony, how did things change with you have been independent all of that time leading up to that? How did that change the business dynamics of everything going on?
So it really didn't change the dynamics because we didn't hit. It was just a record deal that didn't work. It didn't blow up. We didn't really get no success out of it. So we was right back. We stayed independent the whole while that deal was going on. So we never dropped off. We never said, oh, man, now we got a deal. Yeah. Let's sit back now. We done did our thing. We stayed on the grind, man. We just stayed hustling. We kept building our brand, kept expanding our brand. So when that didn't work, it didn't stop nothing. We just got a deal, like I said, the album came out, but I think Baby D went to jail. Didn't he?
Yeah, he went to
He went
jail.
to jail, and they kind of like that really what happened. Honestly, to the
That
whole
was
movement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
God. Then I mean, what about when Oomp hit? First of all, I gotta ask Tay, when you started producing, at what point did you realize you was jamming in this thing, man?
I don't know. I guess just producing stuff like Baby D and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We'll just go test it out in clubs and we'll have success in that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, we got a little chemistry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got something going on.
Yeah.
And then that was it for real. Like we'll just test it out and just see the reaction. The reaction was everything.
Because Baby D had some
Huge records.
at
Come
that
on,
time.
man.
Yeah.
It's still big now. East
Exactly.
Side, West Side.
Yeah.
Man, you play East Side, West Side, man. Jesus Christ.
But you could take something like "Do It." They still bump.
Do
The
it.
women
Do
go
it. Yes,
crazy.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
man.
He just performed at the Wolf Creek, and I swear all the women was moving they little do it.
Yeah. And that was like the East Side, West Side was one of the first songs that we actually get to see a reaction. And we came back, did the remix.
Yeah.
ATL, how I produced. Back Up was the first one I produced though.
Ooh.
Like actually produced in Big Oomp. I think that was my first record I produced that actually came out. Back Up from Baby D.
So Monte or Big Oomp Jelly, when Monte is sitting here making these beats, like, did y'all know y'all had a star producer on y'all hands? Like,
Nah, man. I think everything we did was the beginnings. Like we come up with ideas and execute. So we worked it so hard, man. We never really sat back and even looked at the success still to this day. Because I'm still hustling. I'm
There
still
you
in the
go.
grind mode. We gotta do something else. You know what I mean? We got an app out now. We're trying to get ready to do a podcast now. Like we still on the grind. So I still ain't recognize it. I hear it, but you know.
Yeah. We'll get
I ain't
a plaque.
retired yet, so I maybe if I retire, I can sit back and see what it look like.
We'll get a plaque. He'll be like, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's time for the next one.
how did the Flo Rida T-Pain, how did that song?
Shoot. I was putting together CDs. Oomp was sending them out to Mike Karen. Yeah, I had beats on. I wasn't emailing them, but it was just beats. Oomp kept just sending CDs to Mike Karen. You know, finally he picked one. He hit us up with like send the Pro Tools session. So I was like, all right, cool. And I think at the time Payne was just hot. You know, writing hooks and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
he came up with the hook for that. It was Paul Wall's song first.
really?
Yeah, featuring Juvenile.
Wow.
And then Juvenile wanted it. Juvie wanted it. And then Mike Karen was like, I'm going to give it to Flo Rida. And so that what took it. And me and Oomp heard it when Mike Karen sent it to us. We were like, but we just never knew it was going to be that big. But the way he was rapping on it was,
For
he was
those
killing
that
it.
don't know, we talking about Get Low. That Shorty
Yeah.
got them apple bottom jeans. It's a huge record.
Yeah.
One of the biggest
sure.
records in the last 10 years.
Wow.
on,
Shoot,
man.
50 years. One of the biggest, I think it come in like number 9 at
Yeah.
50 years of hip hop.
How many records did it sell?
Say that again?
How many did it do? Like
10
10 million? Woo.
10 million.
So it's a diamond record.
Yeah, Diamond Records.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that Flo Rida's biggest record he's done?
it has to be.
And,
so,
and T-Pain's too, huh?
yeah, it's Pain for sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so I know Flo done sold over like 100 million, but that was just like the start. We were just talking in Miami. He was like, "Man, appreciate it," and I was like, "Shit, appreciate you."
Big Oomp. Meanwhile, you like, all right, what's next?
What's next? We came back with another hit record with them too. Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar.
Sugar, that went platinum.
The funny part is, me and Oomp, when the song was number 1, even with Walk It Out, me and Oomp just looking at each other like, what do? We were like, we sitting on MLK, looking at each other like we don't even know how to celebrate, like having a number 1 song. We had a number 1 song, and we come back have another hit record, which was 2-step. Then you come with Flo Rida Low, which is like 10 weeks number 1. So we looking at each other like, let's hope it go a whole nother week. So we just don't even. We was just so chill. We just sitting there watching TV and just high-fived each other, probably just turn back around and watch TV.
Let me ask y'all a question. How did the Andre 3000 feature come about?
Well, we was I want to say we was watching TV,
106.
106 in Park, and we was the number one record on that 106 in Park, and Dre and Big Boy was the host on 106 in Park that day, and they introduced our record as the number one record. But when the record came on, they started walking out, and Dre really was cutting up with the walking out. So we were like, oh, snap, man, the Outkast walking around.
Hey, me and Oomp looked at each other too. He was like jelly. I was like, you already know we gotta make
Man,
this call.
we gotta get on this right here, man.
Yeah.
Just to show, man, we reached out to Dre. Dre had a partner named Cheese, and me and Cheese was real cool. And I reached out to Cheese. We're like, man, we saw Dre on 106 in Park walking it out. You think we can get him on the remix? And he hollered at Dre. Dre told him to get him over the beat, and if he can write to it, he'll do it. And shoot, man, we got Cheese that beat. He got it over to Dre. A couple of days, Dre said he'll do the record.
Wow.
And I want to say, did he call Jelly? He called one of y'all.
Talk to him.
And
I
told
pulled
him that to pull up at a certain time at Patchworks and pick up the record.
I pulled up when he did it.
Yeah.
My
I
God.
pulled up. He was actually doing the Rich Boy.
Yeah.
He was doing the Rich Boy remix at that same day. And
But throw some D's.
Yeah. And then he did ours after that. I'm standing there like, dang. I'm in here.
Where was this at? Stankonia?
Nah, Patchwork.
Oh, Patchwork.
Yeah, it was at Patchwork. He recorded at Patchwork. And then I took that thing from the studio from Patchwork and went and mixed it that night, I think. And I messed up the mix, but
How you do that?
I had all his stacks as one. You know what I'm saying? So I kept them all on there.
Free stacks.
He had about 5 of them. He was stacked up, but he was like, nah, he don't want it like that. He want the last one on there.
Yeah.
And so I
I think the
Took it
next
back.
day after we mixed it, we took it to Greg Street. He played about 5 times, back to back to back to back to
Oh my
back.
God.
I mean, that record is to this day is still. Anytime you go to any football game, any game, to this day, like,
Because you got to think, at that time, Dre wasn't even rapping.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That was big.
He wasn't even rapping. He just did the hey y'all type music.
Yeah.
He's off in that world.
Yeah.
He was off the grid.
Yeah, he wasn't
He
even
real-
a rapper
yeah, he went
at
off the
that
grid.
time. We
He went
hopped
off the
on
grid.
that record, man. Then understand this. True fact, right? So in that verse, the man said, make your mama proud, take that shirt 2 sizes down. If y'all check it, that was the end of the shirts down to your knees. I don't know if y'all even paying attention. We was wearing our t-shirt down to our knees there.
Jerseys.
That man
T-shirts
said,
and jerseys.
make your mama proud, take that shirt 2 sizes down. And that was the end era of shirts down past your knees.
It's crazy.
definitely.
My question is this though: when Oomp started having all of that success, how did things change around the label, getting all of that attention nationwide and stuff like that?
Man, Unc was so busy doing shows, man.
I know that's right.
It was just it was a hustle, man. Unc wasn't even around for 2 years. He was on the road for 2 straight years every day. The only day he had off was Tuesdays.
Every day.
Tuesdays. The only day he had off during the month was just 4 Tuesdays. From Wednesday to Monday, he was on the road. being on blast, we still had our record stores at the time, running the record stores. We still controlled our distribution on our product. We sold, at one time, we were selling over 200 stores. Like going to UPS with 30 and 40 boxes a day shipping out orders. Like,
Then the production took
it's
off.
crazy.
While Oomp was on the road.
yeah.
Yeah, that's when the Foolish and all the other stuff.
We had the clothes
started
at the
coming
time. The clothes was selling. We was selling our clothes, so we was killing the street, hustling T-shirts
It was a
and
lot. I was
hoodies.
overseas
Right.
DJing and all that. Like all
In
this stuff
Germany.
was just work. It was
Yeah.
like, let's
Just
get the
work,
next
work,
work.
work.
That's what we did.
How are you able to balance it? Like, I'm hearing you talk about you booking shows, you running record stores, you running a label, you managing. Like, how are y'all able to balance that?
We work. We just sitting
It's just
office
work.
and plan it out.
Now-
Work and
now-
execute.
There's
Not
no
only that,
downtime.
Not only
No.
that, you have key people around that
And
can
y'all
help-
have families.
that could
Yeah.
help balance some of the weight.
Got you.
We'll have probably somebody else dedicated to the stores or something like that. And
yeah, we got
Yeah,
a team.
we
We
had
had
a
a team
team.
of
we
people.
had a
yeah.
team of people that just helped
It wasn't
balance
just
it
us
out.
three just
Yeah, nah, that
running
would've
around
been
on. We had a
difficult.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody from
Like
from
Voodoo.
to
Farad.
Big Fella, to Farad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had all our people on it.
Rudolph. It was
Yeah.
a little bit of everybody.
Cause at one time, man, you couldn't even really hang around us if you weren't gonna do no work.
Damn right.
You
We
really,
had to set
it ain't. You
groupies.
couldn't. You
And
Well, you
people
couldn't.
hanging
Yeah,
around,
you couldn't.
benefiting off,
Right,
because
right.
we doing good right now. Like, you had to pass a flyer out,
Right.
put on a T-shirt. You had to do
You had
something.
to come and get this work.
One of those just hanging around, getting the girls and running off.
Exactly. Okay. Jelly, Monte as DJs though, man, curating the sound of the city. How do y'all feel like this sound has changed over the years, and where do you think it's going? Because I'm cutting on the radio right now. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm in Atlanta or Nigeria.
Well, to be honest with you, well, you right on that type of stuff. But reggae always been a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
music.
That's true.
But the South, we been doing this kind of music for the beginning of bigger records. For me, it's just like, damn, we finally getting our recognition that we really deserve. Back then, I remember people were telling me my beats were too hard, and these were the 808s and everything else that we were doing. And so I was like, man, shoot, it just, I seen it just grow for real.
Get in here, Jelly.
Yeah, hey, my thing is, as far as to me, my only thing is the fact that the fun ain't around no more like it used to be.
It ain't.
Because you got situations like when the sections started happening and all this separation and it's on a whole bunch of levels. That the fun started coming
You
out
ain't
of
got the
Atlanta.
yin yang twin rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
Luke and all that kind of stuff.
But just and there's no variety in the actual music that's going on right now either. You know what I'm saying?
Music played a part in the culture because y'all
Yeah.
had the music that we could listen to in the club along with the yin yangs and the
Man,
blues and everything.
music
Yeah.
really was catered to women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of back then, music was catered to women. You had street rap, but then you had
but, yeah.
women.
Yeah, but
Come on.
in Atlanta,
Come on.
and, from the Yeek
Yeah.
movement to all that, that's catered towards women. The energy changes when
Yeah.
you're dealing with women in clubs.
Yeah.
I learned that from Pop. Like he was like, if the women ain't partying, then you ain't got nothing.
Come on now.
Right.
And the party was the main thing for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm missing the part. So when I see the clubs now and they drilling in the clubs, it's like, what the party? How can y'all even have fun and enjoy y'all life, man?
It ain't no
Sausage
party. Then everybody stuck in their phone.
Yeah.
Man, so,
Everybody
yeah,
stuck in their
it's a
phone.
big disconnect.
You really having fun for about 15 to 30 seconds nowadays. You don't really see nobody just. I don't go to no club and never seen nobody having just a ball. Unless they just popping some bottles. That's what fun is for them.
Exactly.
That's what it's
Bunch of
called,
money. I mean, you ain't have to have no money back in the day to have fun in no club.
No,
Or
you-
pick up no women either.
Some-
you can just go there as a player.
Some people barely had $20 to get
I
in the
was
club.
one of them.
Hey, think about it. Like back in the days, like 559 and 112, we could all be in one room. The dope boys right here, the hustlers right here, the strippers, the artists, everybody in one room. No section, no sitting up here and all
Yeah.
that. None of that.
No $100 to park. No $100
None
to
of
get in
that.
the door.
Lord.
But you can party on the dance floor and be yourself. Like,
Yeah.
and won't even get judged for it. We over here doing our thing. You doing your thing. You having fun. But that's what made it cool. Now everybody just want to smoke a hookah,
You think the music that's coming out is playing a role with
It's
that?
a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't
It's a
know.
part of it.
I you know what? I ain't gonna lie, cause since the female rappers done came and took over for them, they started representing for themselves. It's kind of been more fun for the females.
Yeah.
So it with the female rappers, they kind of like balancing out the music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
feel that.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the Cardi B's, the Sexy
Yeah.
Reds, and all of that in that nature. They
The
make,
ratchetness.
yeah,
Yeah,
they finally
that's
making
cool.
the music for the women. That's why the shit done took off, because the women, you gotta
Every
cater to
one
the
male
women.
hot rapper is a male hot female rapper now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, now that's where the game done went. Now, Monte, when you looked up and you was diamond, sir, what went through your mind? Did you think that you were gonna go diamond in this thing?
B.I., I ain't gonna lie to you. I never really thought that it was this kind of money into the to the cause I was so stuck in doing mixtapes.
Yeah.
So I never knew like what a hit record was back then. We was just doing mixtapes, and I get paid from that.
Yeah.
Doing clubs, and then finally when the Walk It Out and stuff hit, then you get them checks in the mail. I was like, hold on, what the hell? Yeah, but that was a game changer. But then the Low, I knew that was a hit because Flo Rida showed me at Hot 107.9, like everybody on the other races on YouTube having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh man, this done caught everybody besides us. And really, that record had a harder time. I had a hard time with us than other
Yeah.
folks.
Answer me this though, fellas. With Big Oomp being an independent label, but for y'all to have the same success as anybody on any major label, how does that make y'all feel to be able to say, you know what, we came in this thing independent, but we still achieved everything that we set out to achieve out here?
We set our minds to it. I think it came from like a good set of leaders like DJ Jelly, MC Assault, and Oomp. You know what I'm saying? For me, I just feel like without them, we all the core. And once they said we finna do this, we all made it happen. And so to me, that was just like a big part of me.
A blessing. A total
Yeah.
blessing, man.
Yeah.
Total
For sure,
blessing,
like just
period.
to be introduced to a group of men that just had one sight, and we all just went at that same goal at the same time. We moved together, and so that was huge.
With it being ATL 50 years of hip hop, Monte, you mentioned like Camp just getting the recognition now. Like, what makes you all feel like that when y'all were putting in that grind and putting out those hit records? Like, what was going on at that time and what's going on now to where now you feel like the recognition is finally coming in?
I ain't gonna lie, I wish we had social media back then. You know what I'm saying? So you can really see what the hell was going on in our world.
Yeah.
I think Big On Records, I know for sure Big On Records would have been 10 times bigger.
I personally think that the artists that came up at that time, they could have spoken up more.
That too.
Right. The T.I.s, all those
yeah,
guys, when they said the New South,
Ah,
that really like punched us in the face, right? Because when you say New South, you done, whoever created that, you didn't do your history.
Yeah, you said
You just started off right there. You know what I'm saying? You definitely didn't do your ATL history because before T.I., it was Oomp Cap, Big Oomp.
yeah.
Way bigger.
Before Lil Jon blew up, it was us promoting
contribute to the success.
Who You With. It was us who blew up Who You With.
And Freaknik.
And Freak, you know what I'm saying? So you got all these artists that really didn't have no career in Atlanta without our mixtapes, without us DJing all the hot clubs. Because
That's a
Monte
fact.
and Jelly did the hot clubs at
That's a
this
fact.
era.
That's a
And
fact.
radio, shoot.
They
I
ain't
had the
had
first
that. Yup.
Atlanta radio mix show, the 5 o'clock traffic jam.
So if you
It wasn't no
exit
outlet.
us out of Atlanta with the radio, V103 and Hot, because
Yep.
they did the hottest mix shows. You take away our TV show, which we promoted all the Atlanta music. If you was an artist, you didn't have no way to TV. If you take away the mixtapes, because there wasn't no way for your music to get heard, wasn't no outlet for your music. If you exit all of that, you take away a whole bunch of these rappers that had success out of Atlanta. But all of that was looked over when they started the whole New South conversation. The New South, all this. So we never really got our recognition. But what I can say is Drummer have spoken good about us several times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let us feel good inside. And by him being a big guy, spokesperson, when he says people pay attention, he gave us a lot of recognition in his interviews and stuff. Oomp them, oomp this, oomp that.
Let me say, I'm gonna say this, and there would be no Gangsta Grillz affiliates movement if it was not for Oomp Camp, DJ Jelly, and DJ Monte. You heard it right here. Yeah. That would not exist.
That's what's up.
At all.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you why. And I don't know if y'all know about this story. I say it all the time. Y'all had this tent at Birthday Bash. Y'all were selling like hotcakes. I told Drama, Jelly and Monte are killing them with the mixtapes. It inspired us. Birth the Gangsta Grillz. Next year, Cersei invested into us, gave us some money. We put out a tape. One of them was Gangsta Grillz.
That's what's up.
I don't know if y'all know that story.
No.
I would not. That's what's up. That's what's up. But Drummer always gave us a prop.
And it comes from that.
Waka Flocka did an interview, man, gave us a huge shout out. Like, hold on, stop the presses. Oomp Camp. How do we don't recognize Oomp Camp? Oomp Camp is the beginning of Atlanta. Oomp Camp had Atlanta sound in the chokehold. And this is Waka Flocka saying on somebody's podcast I heard. So I'm like, wow. Well, there's a whole bunch of artists should be speaking and saying these comments. But
how about this?
They don't give us that, you know what I'm saying? But if those guys early, who they know we helped their careers, they could have been the speakers. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who grabbed the limelight. You could have.
Y'all was doing what everybody wanted to do. And see, what happens is when folks got to sit back and watch the Oomp Camp dominate the radio and the streets of Atlanta for years, and we got to sit back and watch that. Then when folks get their time, they're like they don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm sensing with a lot of that stuff. Because when you think about Oomp Camp in Atlanta, I mean, if you're from Atlanta, you think about the Braves, Falcons, Hawks, and Oomp Camp. You see what I'm saying? That's what we had. That's what we had in the city. You see what I'm saying? For years. So, I mean, for folks to sit back and act like they don't know no better, that's ridiculous. But a lot of times it might be just slick. I hate to be that guy. They like, hey, man, them boys really had the streets. They really had the industry. They had the clubs. They had a real movement. You see what I'm saying? You talk about the word movement came from watching what y'all was out there doing. And I hate to one-up you, Sense, but it wouldn't be no me if y'all didn't make him to help make me in this thing. God dang.
And check it. So for us, we weren't never the selfish people. We weren't never the people like, F you, F you, F you. You ain't on cap. We showed love to everybody, man. We was a part of everybody's careers coming up in Atlanta. Like, we was the most humblest crew of people that you can come and step to and be like, man, how you do this? Or how you do that?
Game.
The game was there for free.
He gave it to us for free. I know Oomp done gave it
For
us.
free. Listen, man, at my office,
A few people.
I can tell you how many people been up them steps at my office before they got
Huge,
on.
right.
From Coach K to Jason Jeter
Huge.
to Scooter Braun to the list go on.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it like this, though. It's a little different when Oomp Camp walking there for a record deal when they're going to be good with or without it. So you're going to get a different deal than everybody else.
Well, they told me I couldn't go to New York and get a record deal without a briefcase and a suit. I went to New York with a black T-shirt on and braids and got a record deal.
You see what I'm saying?
So they checked the background and saw what we was doing down there, and it was what it was.
And I say that to say, do you know how difficult it is to run a business that can sustain itself based off of everybody's passion? You doing what you want to do every day. You doing what you love to do every day. Everybody else like, I'm waiting on this deal so I can start to do what they doing. Correct. You see what I'm saying? And that's a tough pill to swallow to know that, guess what? After Baby D deal, y'all was still the Oomp Camp. After Oomp deal, y'all was still the Oomp Camp. That's what I'm saying. You gonna go with or without the majors, and you can't say that for everybody. Some folks, they go with the major. After that 2-year deal is up, they had a 2-year career.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, B, we was moving like majors.
Exactly.
Independently. We had the top studio equipment. We had all kind of stuff. It was like everybody just couldn't do it.
That's crazy. How did y'all feel being able to do that? And did that make y'all okay? So with that being said, when y'all go into certain places though, and you got your chest like this because you know you don't need the help, how were people reacting to y'all back then? Or were y'all just so damn helpful nobody cared?
We never moved like that though.
Okay.
We never moved like we don't need your help. We doing it. It just never was our persona, man. We was
But the
just the
action
humblest
showed it
people.
though.
Yeah.
It was
action,
the
see
work.
what I'm saying?
It was the work that showed it.
Yeah.
It was like, dang, they doing this. Because back then you got to think. Keep in mind, I don't know if you remember now. We did the biggest parties also in that era.
Yeah.
Alex was doing the bougie stuff.
Yeah.
The downtown Buckhead stuff, and we was over there doing 559, 321, the bounce,
Bounce.
like
Warehouse,
big Halloween party, big anniversary party, big birthday party. Like our parties was huge. We would have Bankhead traffic way down to the highway. Like we did the biggest street parties back then. Me and Street did the bounce for what, 2 years, I think. Every Friday was our night. We killed them.
I remember that.
We did the hood. We were the biggest promoters on the hood side. And Alex had the dress up people.
We just never walked with our chest out. It's like if you don't want to help us, we're gonna figure it out.
Exactly. But sometimes, you know, the fact that you don't need no help can be intimidating to people. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's what people probably thought.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah,
like
that was in their mind.
that was in their mind. But we ain't never say we don't need your help. But if you're not gonna help us, we gonna.
It's like now, man, we just got
We gonna
recognized.
do it.
All of us got a proclamation a couple of months ago
Come on now.
from the
Congrats.
city. Yeah, we got a proclamation. And they also, every June the 10th is Big Oomp Day.
Wow.
So they gave us that.
How did that make you feel though, Oomp?
I was felt real. Now that right there, because I wasn't expected.
That's what's
Yeah.
I
up.
wasn't expected. June the 10th, Big Oomp Day, like we got to make it legendary for on out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Kids,
That's hard.
kids. A Big Oomp Day, June the 10th.
What's the secret though, fellas? What's the secret to being able to sustain a business for that doggone long and have the kind of success that y'all have had?
Consistency.
Respect each other.
Consistency.
The respect we got for each other is the reason why we still together 30 years later.
Basically raised each other, yeah.
Pretty much the steel core. The core is there.
Yeah.
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 I see it lasting. It ain't stopping no
Oh,
time.
no, it
soon.
ain't never stopping. Okay, so when you think about that core though, too, have there ever been any times that y'all looked at each other and said, you know what, I really don't like this guy that's sitting next to me today. It's like, well, we gonna still do business. I
love these jokers.
Oh,
We love each
okay.
other, but you know it's like brothers and fighting, and you gonna have all that disagreement. That's just part of the life.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of testosterone. You know what I'm saying? But we had disputes, but we still came together. Like I keep saying, like with a person like Oomp that just kept us like together, he was like the glue. Like, man, squash all that. Did it make any money? No. Okay, cool. we back here working again. Like we just so from that it's like, man, now we stuck with each other.
With that being said, for all three of y'all though, what was your favorite time on this Oomp Camp journey, the way you just felt like you was having the time of your life?
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. My first time going to Germany with Jelly for 2 weeks.
My God.
That was like a experience for me, a little kid from Southwest Atlanta, just in Germany for 2 whole weeks, and we DJing clubs every day. And mind you, there wasn't no social media, so we had a club every day for 2 weeks, except for probably 1 day. All of them sold out.
Okay, wait a minute.
Crazy.
I need y'all got some explaining to do. So y'all didn't go out there with no artists. Y'all were just going out there doing y'all thing.
We would
They would start.
These are artists, because
Crazy.
across seas,
That's crazy.
Come on,
DJs,
man.
yeah, DJs are artists across seas.
Okay, so now this is gonna bring me to another question. I'm gonna have to come back to that other question, but now I got to ask y'all, and since you're gonna have to get in on this too, celebrity DJs.
Oh,
that
yeah.
wasn't a thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all brought that to
We
the
created
game.
that in Atlanta.
And
Yeah.
then to
in
go
Atlanta.
overseas as a celebrity DJ. My
Yeah.
God, this is ridiculous.
Off
man.
mixtapes.
Come on, man.
off
Off
mixtape.
mixtapes.
What do you think happened to the celebrity DJ? Because do we still have them?
Yeah.
Like a new age of
Yeah.
them. Because we got younger ones But do we
It's-
have some that was just
I
going
don't
and
know
about that,
20
dog.
out here getting it in?
Cause
It's
the
a lot of
internet,
them.
you got YouTube, internet. They got so many ways to hear music now. DJs still up porting, but
Yeah.
you can have a party now with your phone now. You ain't gotta have a DJ.
But you
no
know
more.
what though? I'm gonna say it depending on the genre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have the EDM stuff, man. You got celebrity DJs.
Yeah.
And they get paid like 100 to 200,000 for 1 hour.
1
Yep.
hour, yeah.
Fuck, that's respect. Like, and I,
That's a big business.
you know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But it depends on the genre. Like in that genre, they are artists. And our genre is just like it's a bunch of them, because I think in that shit it's like you still got to be a certain of a certain type to even become one of the top 10 DJs.
My God.
You gotta produce. You gotta be all kind. You gotta have hit records in that, and you'll be considered as a DJ at that point. Here in Atlanta, you could just have your laptop or just anywhere, a laptop and a controller, and you can go pull up at the lounge. That's just I DJ for
Your question
150.
should be to them DJs is how do they feel about all them new DJs came and started charging $150
Yeah,
for
$150,
a whole
$200
night when
for
they
a
get
whole night.
$1,000
There you go.
for the whole night.
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
That should be the question to the DJ. Like, how
that-
y'all
that-
feel with all these young jugglers that came in the game charging $150 for the whole night?
But see, that's why I think too a lot of promoters done.
It's the promoters.
You know what I'm saying? Like
market
they
down.
ain't, they don't market the DJs like we were marketed back then.
Right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
even before social media, I knew what all of y'all looked like before social media. You see what I'm saying? So also I knew if a party was going down and the name was on the flyer, that y'all were bringing the crowds with y'all too.
Yeah.
But that was work too though. At
Yeah.
the same time,
Break
because
it
you
down.
had to rock a crowd. A crowd. You know what I'm saying? You had the party. Now you can really just go DJ. It could be a lounge like this or where we at, and people can just sit around. You don't know if they having fun or not. If the music was good for them, they don't leave a staple and say, man, that DJ that like back then you knew who the DJ was because if me and Jelly was in there and we had the whole club turned up for the whole night, you gonna remember that.
Is there not enough good music for a DJ to showcase their talent nowadays?
I'm not gonna say that. Not my personal opinion.
It's too much music though.
That's
But
a
I
lot
mean,
of
you
lot
go
of
back
music.
in the day, but I'm talking about if you a young DJ, you want to play the new music. So
Man.
it's the music that's playing. You know, if I'm here and throw your middle finger up, I'm in the club like this getting it in. You see what I'm saying? I'm hearing Baby D. I'm hearing the East Side,
The
West
energy
Side.
was different.
It evokes something in me.
Yeah,
you see what I'm
yeah.
saying? This
Different.
music is not invoking nothing in nobody. So I can be on my phone, but if somebody says East Side, Ho, West Side, B, I might have to get in
dropping
somebody's face. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
energy different.
I mean, at least
The
I
energy
throw up a
different.
dub.
I don't know. I just think to me it's just kind of the same thing. It's just the topics of songs are different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody talking about the same thing, but we had a little more fun in ours when we was screaming East Side, West Side. Like, yeah, we love representing our hood.
Exactly.
We love this. We love doing that, and we gonna
different
show.
era,
It.
different
Yeah, it was
era.
different time, man. We just had fun.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't know nothing about no.
Tell me
sections.
about the future, the plans, individually and as a group.
You want to start with me or it don't matter. With me, I became a family guy, so
I
trying
see you.
Yeah. So I'm trying to help build my kids up into learning something new from just setting them up in the future. And I'm still doing production,
Right.
Still DJing,
You
touring with
and
Pain and
T-Pain,
stuff.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and Oomp, we working on like just trying to get Big Core going and stuff like that. And other artists, like for me, it's still kind of like the same stuff.
Okay. Jelly.
Yeah, for me, it's more like, man, really telling these stories and history of Atlanta. That's the quest I'm on.
Yeah, you've been
personally.
and
really
your
being
panelist
involved
game
with
is on
different
fire
people.
right now.
I've been involved with like the hip hop museum up in
Yeah.
New York, like just
Yeah.
different.
Salute.
I'm on
Yeah.
on that back end,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
being able to make sure that people still do what they need to do, just
Yeah.
as I was as a DJ with the artists.
Yeah.
It's really the same thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Oomp.
Yeah. And I'm still, rolling with the music, everything that we done built, still pushing that. But I'm opening up 2 restaurants right now.
Nice.
Real heavy in the real estate. And shoot movies.
Okay.
Get into movies. So The next biggest thing from our end would be movies.
Okay.
We've been doing
That's
scoring and
our
stuff
thing.
for TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of placement in TV shows and stuff. So
Your little league football. Raising these next pressure here.
yeah, and football, we won the championship last year, 12 and under. So far I've been coaching 20 years. I've been to the championship 15 times. And I won 10 championships out the 15 times. So I started
Crazy.
back over now. Got 6 and under team with 3-0.
To piggyback off of that, we got both me and have nonprofits where we teaching kids. Like we just got through doing a program where we were at the DeKalb juvenile system, and we were just
We
teaching
did one at
kids
an alternative school before that.
right down the street on
National,
National
Skyview.
Okay.
Alternative
That was the
school.
first one.
Okay.
And then we did the second one at the juvenile.
Nice.
Yeah, so we teaching kids that inspiring how to rap and
Okay.
want to produce, showing them the way. Me and Big Corey and Nari, his daughter, we just, doing that right now too. So we're building the foundation thing up too.
The legends, man. I appreciate y'all for just had to give y'all the platform,
Thank you.
all the
Appreciate
recognition. Like I said, wouldn't be no us without y'all, man. And I say that's for the whole culture. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
Like,
you.
so
Yeah.
it was an honor to have y'all.
Thank you,
Honor
man.
to have my brother here.
Yes, sir.
Co-contribute,
man.
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
here for it.
And you see what it is, man. TrendsetterSense, Oomp Can't Be High, Rhythm and Street, Special Edition, ATL 50 years
Yeah.
of hip hop. You see what it is.
It's heading.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm with you.
That was a good one, though.
Trendsetter. Know what I want?